This first circle's center diameter is 3/4 of an inch. D, enter, 0.75, enter. The next one is 1 1/8. D, enter, 1.125. The next circle is a hidden circle. That's showing this recess on the back side. And that one is 1 3/8 on the diameter, 1.375. And you can convert that to hidden line now or later. I'm going to do it later. Okay, next thing we got to do is make this rectangular shape. So that rectangular shape is 4 inches tall by 2 inches wide. I'm going to do some offsets here of 1 inch, and there we go. So now we got the width. And then to do the height, I'll just click that again and again, and click that again and again. All right, so now we have the basic exterior shape. That's 2 by 4 inches. Okay, the next thing I want to do is place the holes here. So the holes are 1 inch apart, so they are a 1/2 inch from center. So offset will be 0.5 from the center line over and over. That gets our vertical center line. The horizontal center lines, we are told, are 3 1/4 inches apart. And so we could divide that by 2 and offset from the center, or we could subtract that from the 4 and divide it by 2. If you subtract it from the 4, that would be 4 minus 3 1/4, you get 3/4. And then if you divide 3/4, you get 3/8. So that is the offset that we're after, an offset of 3/8 of an inch, or 0.375 from the top down. There you go. So that offset from the top down and the bottom up was 3/8 of an inch. That gives us our center lines for the holes, so now you can make them. And their diameter is 3/8. So you can type D, enter, and 0.375. There it is. And now you can decide if you want to copy this to the other locations or just make each one of them. If you want to copy it, it would be CO, enter, and click on the circle, grab its center point, and then place it in all 4 locations. Okay. Now for the legs. What do the legs look like in the top view? Just 2 lines, one object and one hidden. We are given their interior width as 1 3/4. So if you look on the drawing, it shows the distance from the inside here to the inside here is 1 3/4. So if we are offsetting from the center, it would be half of that. So what is half of 1 3/4? Well, 1 3/4 is really 7/4, right, as an improper fraction. And to divide it by 2, you simply multiply the bottom by 2. And that 7/4 becomes 7/8. So that is our offset, 7/8, or 0.875. Either way you want to type it. And there you go. We've got the lines for the interior of the legs. Now the outside of the legs, it shows as being another 1/4 of an inch because they are 1/4 of an inch thick. So our offset is simply 0.25, and we'll take that line we just made and offset it 1/4 of an inch in both directions. And There it is. Okay. So we'll do the one. I'm just going to do them both and then change it to hidden. When I change my circle, which I'm about to do, right now. Okay. So I'm going to grab the inside lines I just made and the outside circle. I got all three selected, and then I'm going to click my hidden line layer and move them to that. Okay. So our top view, as far as the drawing is concerned, is complete. We're going to move on to the left side view, and then we'll do the bottom. Okay. Let me just scoot this on over a little bit, make a little room. The first thing I'm going to do is offset one of these lines, and to give it some space here, I'm going to go for 2 1/4 inches, because that is the total height of this thing. So 2 1/4 inches, there it is. So that is your first offset. So this distance from here to here is 2.25. There it is. Okay. And then from the left side going toward the right, we have several offsets. The first one is 3/8 of an inch, 0.375. There you go. So that's going to be the thickness of the feet on this thing. And then you have the distance to the underside, from the feet to the underside here is shown as 1 1/4. So that is your next offset, 1.25. And then it shows the next thickness or offset being the thickness of, or the depth of, this little boss here, this on the bottom side, you know, the thickness of this hidden line that we see here, this hidden line circle. And so that recess is 1/8 of an inch. So the offset on that is 0.125. There it is. And then the last dimension that they give us is the thickness of this top cylinder, and that's 1/2 of an inch. So we'll say 0.5, enter, and we'll bring that down. There it is, 1/2 of an inch. So now we're in pretty good shape to get drawing here. What would really seal the deal is if we had all the lines for the circles. So let's do that. We'll just bring those in right now. I know it's going to get messy. It's going to get really messy, but let's just do it anyway. And we'll place the edges of these circles. And there's a lot of them. I know. Sorry. While we're at it, let's just do the vertical ones as well. So all the same exact lines we just did. So grab all the edges of all the circles. Messy, messy. Okay. All right, so looking at this left side view, try to figure this out. Start here. And just very carefully try to click on the correct lines. And now for the cylindrical portion on top. Look and see where that is. That's this one, okay. All right. That's it for the object lines. Before we go on to the hidden lines though, I'm going to turn off my construction lines and do the fillets. So we are shown that these fillets right over here, this one, this one, this one, these three are all 1/8 of an inch, but then this one on the corner is 1/4. So that's a little bigger. Let's do the small ones first. So I'm going to say fillet F, enter, R, enter, 0.125, enter, and grab all these guys. So this one, and then of course this one, and then where we meet here. And unfortunately that wiped out that line. Let's see if I can drag that back and keep going here. Pull that line back as well. There it is. And then we'll do these corners here. So F, enter, R, enter, 0.25, enter. That one, enter again, and then that one. There you go. Okay, so now we are ready to do the hidden lines. I'll turn my construction layer back on, go to my hidden layer. And this hole that goes almost all the way through, it goes to there and then up. And then we have the recess, which is pretty wide. That's this one from here to here and down. Okay. The holes in the feet are going to be here. And by the way, my LTS is 0.35. That's how I'm getting these dashes to show up at the level they are. Look at this. Let's zoom in on this guy. You can see how these dashes are not showing up in here, and that's because I have two hidden lines on top of each other. So one of them's got to go, and that's going to be the smaller one. So let me select that smaller one and say delete. Okay, so be careful of that. When you have dashed lines overlapping each other, they can cancel each other out. Not an issue with a solid line, but keep an eye on it with a hidden line. Okay. Let's do the bottom view here. To get that in place, we are going to want to bounce these construction lines horizontal. You can see over here I made a transfer line, and you remember how to do that. XL, enter, whoops, don't go for help. I don't need help. XL, enter, A, enter, 45, enter, and make that line, okay? Whatever layer I happen to be in. That's funny, it snapped on something random there. Put that on my construction layer. And then bounce these over. Let me get in the right layer. XL, enter, H, enter, and click on all these guys. Okay. So now we're in pretty good shape to do this bottom view here. Interesting thing to point out, and you probably know this, but a round object like this cylinder looks the same from the right side and the left side as it does from the front and back. Doesn't matter what side you're looking at something round, it always looks the same. So this drawing that we did here, all these hidden lines here with the round recess and the round hole and the round cylinder on top, they're all the same over here. We just duplicated them. You can redraw them if you want. Or you could actually just copy it. So I think you know how to redraw it. You just trace over the construction lines that we have here. But for fun, I was thinking that I would show you guys how to do the how to copy and rotate that. All right. Let me just do this real quick. I'm gonna get that lined up. To do that, I'm gonna select these pieces and then copy and rotate them. Check this out. So copy, C-O, enter. And basically I want everything from here to there. And whatever's extra, I'll just delete. So I got that stuff. I'm going to copy it and move it to, I don't know, just somewhere out of the way, like maybe right here. Just put it right there. And now I'm going to rotate it. So rotate, R-O, enter. I'm going to select the same stuff and rotate it about its midpoint and just type in 90. Okay. So there you go. I've got a lot of it. What do I guess I don't need these guys. I could just delete them. Select these little round pieces, right? I don't need them. And then just move the rest of it. So M, enter, grab it by its middle and place it over here. So did that save me a lot of trouble? I don't know, but it's fun. You know, it's a fun way to do things. And I think more importantly, it illustrates the fact that round things are the same no matter what side you're looking at them from. So it's the same. All right, let's finish this drawing off. I suppose I could just grab this line and stretch it to the edge. I think that's what I'm going to do. Just grab that guy and stretch him to the edge. And same with this one. Grab this guy, stretch him to the edge, and stretch him to the edge. Okay. He is actually also going to be a hidden line. We'll take care of that in a minute. And then the holes themselves here. And interestingly, the holes are the same thing. I could have included those in my copy and rotation if I had wanted, but I didn't. Okay, so this line is going to be turned into a hidden line. So I'm going to grab my hidden layer and put him on that. And I'm going to make those holes. So here we go, this guy. And make sure you're grabbing the right one, the outer one here, and him. And again. All right. All that's left to do now are the center lines. And that is done by offsetting, of course. So O, enter, 0.25, enter. And we'll do these offsets for the center lines. Interesting scenario here. I'm realizing that just right now that I was not consistent. In this view, I showed the center line going all the way through the entire object. In this one, I should do the same. the truth is the center line goes through the entire object because it is symmetrical all the way. So this center line should be all the way out to here, showing that it is a symmetrical object. And that is what we would do in the other view as well. So going to my centerline layer, we'll start in the top view, or I'm sorry, we'll start in the left side view here. Got the holes, and then the one that goes through the hole and all the way through the entire object, because it is a mirror image on both sides. That is what that is letting us know. And here we are doing it in the bottom view, same thing, saying it is saying the entire way through. All right, and then we'll get these guys, the little holes. I'm going to save the center lines in the top view for a little later. They kind of interfere with doing these cut lines, which is the last thing I want to do right now. So to do these cut lines, I'm going to offset these sides 1/2 inch. Or 1/4 inch twice, which is a nice way to do it. And then we'll draw these cut lines. Oh, right. So I'm going to go to my phantom layer, and with just the regular line, let's do the A one first. So be sure that you're going through the center of the hole here. There's the center. So I want to go through its middle. I'm going to start here, and then I'm going to come out just a little bit. And this is kind of a random placement. I just want to be sure I go beyond the edge of the circle. And to do this, I'm going to turn my nearest snap on, so that now I can come just beyond the edge of the circle and click somewhere on this construction line, like there, right? And then I'm going to go down to the center line and to the middle. There it is. I'm going to zoom in on that. So I am going right through the middle of this circle. And then this bend I made was a random point, just somewhere in between these two objects, in between the circle's edge and between this outside leg. I just don't want it to be on top of an existing line. Cut over to this one and then down into the center. Next thing I'm going to do is go to my leader, and I'm going to make about an inch long leader there. Hit the enter button. I'm going to turn off my construction line so you can see what's going on here, and go to my text and create a letter A. Make sure it's 0.25, enter, check mark, move it into position. There you go. Okay, and now I'm just going to mirror it. So watch this. So M-I, enter, select all this stuff. And I'm going to mirror it about this center line. So just click on the center and click over here. And there it is. I have my nice little cut line finished. So that's going to be the first section. The other section we're going to have come through here, go over, and then come out this way. Okay, so let's do that one. In order to do that, I'm going to turn my construction lines back on, and let's do it. So I don't think I did that offset. Let me do one more offset here. want this to be a 1/2 inch away. Okay. So I'm going to start here, go to the stair, and then down. And all I got to do is just click on this point. That's far enough for that one. And then I will resume the section by coming out from the middle of this circle and out to that point there. So basically I made this line here and this little jog, and then I made this line here. I'm going to go to my leader and make another leader from there to there. Okay, and I'm going to turn my construction lines off. I'm going to make this letter here by just copying this one. Just going to copy this guy and move him on over. And then I'm just going to rename him. So by double clicking on it, I'll just backspace and then B. And that way I don't have to worry about changing the size or anything. And then I'm just going to copy these 2 items, CO, enter, from the base of the leader over to here. There it is. And that's it. You've created your cut lines.